Right. All right, buddy. That red button's hit now. Good day, mate.
Oh, mate, you been eating some shrimp on the barbie or what?
Flat whites. Flat
Throwing down
white.
a little bit of Foster's.
Yeah, well, dude,
Aussies are gonna hate us for hearing
Foster
that.
Australian for beer. Dude, is Foster still a thing? I haven't seen a
I don't know,
Foster.
but they used to have the best commercials. If
Yeah,
everyone listening should go and like YouTube their commercials.
Australian
I,
for beer.
I just remember one of them was it was like a guy pushing his buddy in a wheelbarrow, and then I think it was like a drunk guy passed out, and he's a designated driver. Foster's Australia for beer.
Dude, I love.
They had the best commercials.
Yeah, well, dude, they got the best people out here. Everyone
They
in
don't take
Australia.
themselves too seriously in Australia, and
No.
that's my favorite thing about them.
They're awesome. Everyone is always saying good morning. Everyone's in a good mood. No one takes themselves too seriously. And they got good, solid hecklers. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, they'll heckle and honestly, they'll heckle you pretty good, like solid.
love that.
But then as soon as like you're off the court, they're really nice to you. Like it's the best sporting balance where
Yeah,
they're not like football fans, but also trying to spit on you after the game. They're
yeah.
like,
Right, right,
hey
yeah.
mate, thought you played great. They're like, well, 2 seconds ago, you're telling me to fuck off.
Yeah. He's like, well, get over it.
Yeah.
That
No,
was 2 seconds ago.
I've enjoyed my time out here. It's been a long time. I've been here for today's Saturday. I still got my watch set to East Coast time, so I know what time it is for Delaney and the kids. And it hasn't been a great decision because I'm so tripped out on what day it is. It's Friday for you, Saturday for me.
I asked Siri what time it was. Told me 8:30 a.m. and you hadn't responded to my text. I was like, he's been up for at least 3 hours. What's going on?
Usually, well, the schedule, so they have like during pool play, they had 3 sessions. So they had 4 matches in the morning, four in the early and late afternoon, and then I had the 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I've been recording recap podcasts after. And
Yeah,
so I've been falling asleep around like 1:30 or 2, which was tough
that's
because
exactly what I thought. I was like, Travis, he woke up at 8:30 a.m. Like, no, he must have been doing the 1 a.m. match.
yeah, yeah. So last night was the latest because Mel and Brandie's quarterfinal against Carol and Rebecca went real long, and then that pushed the schedule way back. And so I didn't get back to the hotel till midnight. Probably finished recording and uploading the recap pod at like 1:15. Talked to Delaney
Yeah.
for like 2 seconds before I fell asleep with all the lights on.
Love that.
Yeah.
So how's the vibe out there? I'm so curious. I've been to maybe what, three or four world championships, and they've all been very different. In terms of the energy around the town, the community, like how small, kind of like everyone's kind of rallying around the tournament, and then also like in the stadium, like are they packing out? Are the side courts kind of empty? What's the vibe out there?
It's been a late arriving crowd. So Mexico, I think everyone was a little spoiled because like I remember I had played in a challenge in Mexico and me and Tim Brewster were in the qualifier and we were playing in front of 5,000 people in the qualifier
Yeah.
in that bull ring and we were
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
we were the 31 and we beat the 2 and so we were like taking pictures and signing autographs in the qualifier for like 20 minutes. And then you bring a world champs there, and like, even though obviously that was bad memories for the boys in Mexico, the crowd there was insane. Every single
Yeah.
match, that has not been the case here. It's been a pretty bad crowd. Um,
You know, we and I watched a little bit and I saw some decent crowd, some not so good, and it reminded me of Rome actually. Where
yeah,
Rome, I was like really shocked that the crowds were kind of weak. I even played a night match against Italy, against Nicolai and Codafava, and it was kind of weak.
yeah,
The stadium looked awesome, everything was perfect, but the crowd didn't show up.
yeah. It's
Whereas
closer to
like in
Rome.
the Netherlands, it was amazing. Hamburg was amazing. I was sick during Austria, but that looked amazing. It was run by
Well,
Hannes.
question for you, because you've been there. So World Champs is such a long event
Yeah.
that, and like pool play, there's not a whole lot of consequence to a lot of those matches. So like. were crowds late arriving for those events? Because anytime you see the videos on YouTube, like you only see the finals and the semis, and obviously it's going to pack out. Like it'll pack out here for that. They've already sold out the tickets of a 6,000 seat arena, so they're going to show up when it matters. Nye,
Nah, I showed up.
hello.
This
Um,
is a beautiful piece of art. Labubu with Santa hat she made.
I love that. Nye,
Sorry
I
for
love
our
your.
audio listeners. Sometimes the kids just walk in here.
Yeah, this is a kid-friendly show. Nye, I love your hair.
Yes, her hair looks dope right now. We were in Mexico, so they braided
Oh,
it
right
up.
on.
All right, girl. We got to keep recording.
But when you played those world
That looks
champs,
seriously cool.
when you played those world champs, was the crowd like awesome the whole 10 days, or was it like kind of late arriving? Because
No, I mean, it wasn't. Let's go back. So, like, okay, my first world champs was Netherlands, and they ran it in Apeldoorn, Amsterdam, The Hague, and wherever else. Four different cities. So, like, there was only a few matches every day in each city, which was really cool. And the fans did show up, and we were in the stadium each time. It was only the stadium court.
cool.
So that was epic. Like the whole time, there was pretty good crowd going. The energy was great. Hamburg, it was like tennis stadium style. So we had the center court, but the side courts are right next to it. And crowd was solid. Like people showed up on the outside court. It wasn't like packed and going crazy. Like everyone was inside the stadium, and the stadium was packed every match. So I'd say that was like a close second for me. I know that Austria was probably just rocking the whole time because it was the Hannes promoted Red Bull events
Yeah.
going on, and he just throws a great party. So people are there dancing with that's the Klagenfurt crowd. Um, and then yeah, Italy was like we might have 10 people watching in Rome
Yeah.
on the side courts and
It looked
stuff.
looked rough.
Yeah, and then Mexico I thought was pretty dang good, where it wasn't like packed for all the matches, but hey, we lost in pool play, so that sucked. But we still had crowd, we still had people cheering, so I thought that was really good to Tlaxcala. But like you said, Mexican fans show up for professional sports. Woohoo! We're excited no matter what. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Um, we don't even know who you are. We're excited, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was curious and just asking you.
Yeah, it's been building up, and the side courts have been a really fun vibe. On the when it's been
Cool.
the like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the side courts were great because they're selling beer out there and everyone's having a pretty good time. The center court has been completely empty except for a handful of night matches when Australians are playing. Like when Mark
Uh,
Nicolaides and Isaac Kerher are playing, the crowd shows up. But then
Damn,
they they got knocked
oh,
out.
I would
And
die for a stadium court match against those guys in Australia.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun because the crowd, it was pretty loud. The side court vibes have been way better, but now like yesterday was quarterfinals, pretty decent crowd, and then I'd expect like tonight's semis, tomorrow is the medal rounds. I'd expect it to be pretty crowded, and they've already pre-sold out the entire arena
Nice.
for semis and medal rounds, and so I'd expect that to be pretty good. But I was like, I didn't know. He's like, what sporting event, like even baseball, even like U.S. Open tennis, what are they going to sell out at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon?
Nah.
Like you look
Yeah.
at like even when Alcaraz is playing in Wimbledon on a random like in the early rounds, like nobody's
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
like I feel like we a lot of times we unfairly compare it to like everyone else's championships. We're like,
All
well,
right.
look at the crowds here. Well, it's also pool play against Egypt on Wednesday at 11 in the
Yes.
morning.
No.
No, no one's gonna go.
Yeah.
So I think
Also, Australia fan base is like fairly new to the sport. Like their national team, obviously they've been good for a long time, especially well, they've had men and women that are solid for a long time, but like I think they're just building it up right now to where their national team's just like getting more and more deep,
yeah. And
and I
I
think
talked to
building that
Zach
fan
Schubert.
base.
We got a pod with Zach Schubert coming out pretty soon. And I
Yeah,
talked with him, and he said that they're starting to allocate a lot more resources away from bigger sports and put it into the smaller ones. And so, dude, the Australian men. every single one of them looks like all they do is eat 200 grams of protein and do squats and jump 40 inches and just hit the piss out of the ball.
Jump high, hit hard. They're kind of
Yeah.
like the Dutchies in that way.
Yeah. And
Jump
they're
high,
like
hit hard.
kind of out of control, but when you catch them on the wrong day, like Cam and James, they got the wrong Aussies on the wrong day, and
Oh
they
yeah?
lost to like the 40th seeds, Jack Pierce and Darty Potts. And dude, I was watching, I was like, I don't know how these guys ever lose. But then you watch them when they're not hot and they make like 20 errors in a match, and you're like, okay, now I kind of get it. But they were perfect against Cam and James. So yeah, I mean, crowd, it's been pretty bad so far, but the matches that matter, it's been pretty good. So
Cool.
solid.
Love it. Now's the
Yeah.
time to, well, yeah, when is this coming out? I was gonna say. Now's the
This will
time to tune in. We're in
be
the semifinals, at least on our timeline.
yeah, our timeline. It's semis, but this will be out not so this up this Wednesday. Well, I'll put it out like today, basically, for the members of the YouTube channel. So anybody who's a paying member, $5 a month, they get episodes whenever we record them. For everybody else, you're gonna get
Come on,
it
people.
2 Wednesdays after World Champs is over.
Come on, people. It's
Come
five
on,
bucks.
people.
We could
Yeah,
we could use it.
just $5 and you get early access. Um, but we'll get into fan questions at the end. You want to chat AVP Schedule?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'll give a rundown of what the schedule looks like. And you can find it if you just go to the AVP homepage, avp.com, a little graphical pop up. So they're running three what's called Heritage Majors. Those are your traditional events. It'll be double elimination. I believe on a double check the email, 16 team draws, except for Manhattan. Actually, I don't know. They did not give any specifics on how big the draws are. I would assume Manhattan's the standard 32 and the others will probably be 16, but I don't know for
Yeah,
sure. So
sounds right.
the majors are Huntington, May 15th through 17th. Back to Belmar, May 29th through 31. MBO Standard, August 14th through 16th. And then you have Heritage, or they call them contenders, kind of those like, it's been rebranded a bunch. It was AVP Next Gold, and then they became contenders, kind of that mid, like upper qualifier, lower main draw guys. Going back to Austin, that's where I named my son after, April 17th through 19th. Pompano, May 23 and 24. Virginia Beach, June 13, 14. Denver is July 3 through 5. Wapaka, July 8 through 10. And then we get a little fall season. The Mother Lode, September 5th through 7th. Laguna, September 18th through 20th. The Midwest Open, I think that's in Iowa. That's September 25th through 27th. And then, so that's your like kind of traditional schedule. And then you have what their kind of their baby, the AVP League. So the AVP League qualifiers are held at the Manhattan Beach Pier 3 straight Saturdays in spring of 2026. Those Saturdays are March 28th, April 4th, and April 1st. It's standard league format. Those are 3 games to 15 points each. No points are awarded, and you keep your best 2 out of 3. Um, and those qualifiers are held on those Saturdays. And then the AVP League is in Aspen, June 6th through 7th. Kind of cool. Miami, June 12th through 13th. Las Vegas, June 19th through 20. Atlantic City, we're back for better or worse. June 27th and 28th. Going to LA, July 11th and 12th. Central Park, that was the best stop by far. July 18th and 19th. East Hampton, which I thought was actually, it was like kind of like a little boutique stop. I kind of dug it. August 1 through 2. Dallas, August 7th through 8th. And then Chicago, the championships, as always, September 5th and 6th. So that's our schedule. Um, what's your
Question.
initial, what's your initial impression, Try?
Wait, so the league cities are the same, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Like the teams that
Yeah, as far
the
as I
cities
know.
that have teams, right?
As
But
far
there's
as I
not
know.
stops in all of those places.
Yeah, as far as I know, we got. all the league cities and teams are the same. Um,
But they're not playing in their hometowns necessarily. Because
Correct. Well, I mean,
like there's no Austin.
there's an Austin. Oh, well, there's an Austin. Yeah, you're right. No Austin League stop, but there's an Austin
It's a
Open.
contender. But
Yeah,
like
you're
the
right.
top players usually don't play in contenders.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah,
pick,
so
I
no
would guess with the
Austin.
schedule, they'll pick one or two.
No home stop for the Aces.
Right. Hmm. And there's only one New York. Oh, I guess oh no, East Hampton. So
East Hampton.
Brooklyn could be in East Hampton.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, all right, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think how much do you think players are gonna play in all these events? Like going down to I think they'll play in all the league, obviously if they qualify, assuming they'll qualify, they'll play in all the majors for sure, which it's a little confusing because Heritage used to be the big ones. Now they're all Heritage, but then contenders, but all right. Um, we'll just call them contenders.
Yeah.
Like how much do you think players will play in contenders?
Well, when you were a top player, would you?
I guess it would depend. My first answer is probably not, maybe one or two, but it depends on how heavy World Tour I want to go. I think this is the last season where players can really like back off the World Tour a little bit. I think they'll probably go heavier than they did this year, but there's not too many guys or people who took like a heavy workload off the World Tour besides like the Crabs and I don't know who else. But yeah, I don't expect them to play too many of those, the top teams.
Yeah, I think if this was the year for people to play to take off World Tour, it's it because there's no Olympic qualifying on the line. There's no World Champs points on the line. The Beach Pro Tour finals will be back, but that only takes the top 8 teams. And so realistically, that's a really hard tournament to qualify for.
You
So I
have
think
to,
that if there's a year to take a sabbatical from the World Tour, 2026 is the one.
yeah, but you really do need to be in position come. First of all, you got to have your partner locked in, and you want to have some points. You want to be in events going into the Olympic qualifying period, and yeah, you don't want to be starting groveling, even if it's like takes two or three events only, which is like a good job of moving up. You can't afford that in Olympic qualifying because a year and a half later, that might be the thing that um, I know from experience. Coming that close to the last event or two, you're gonna regret that. So you got to be ready to go, locked in. So I think teams are gonna go actually heavy, a little heavier or equally like they did trying to like make the World Championships. They're gonna try to have their points locked in, ready to go, have USA volleyball support, all that. So yeah, it'll be similar to this year, I think.
Yeah, I look at it as like a positioning year. Like you're going to see a lot of people experimenting with partnerships to see if that's the one they want to go with heading into the Olympic qualifying. I think we're going to see probably quite a few mix-ups I'd expect. So like 2026 is like the last like tinker around, let's experiment who we want to play with, and then let's position ourselves points wise to so we're starting the Olympic run in a good way. But if you get your points early, you can kind of cruise, rest up, but you got to keep that USA support.
Mhm.
Um, and then the prize money on the World Tours is just way better because I think the contenders for the AVP Heritage is so it's 60K total for Denver, Wapaka, and Laguna. It's 300 for MBO total. So split it in half per gender. 150 for Huntington, 150 for Belmar, 60 for Denver, 60 Wapaka, 60 Laguna, and then the other five, Austin, Pompano, Virginia, Motherlode, and Midwest are 20 total.
Yeah,
So 10
so
per
just
gender.
I feel like people don't, you hear the overall prize and you're like, it sounds like a big number, but is that good or not, you know? And I think if you hear 300, that's kind of like the mark that players want to hear. It's like, okay, it's significant money if I do well, like I'm moving up, I'm, stacking some cash up. The 61's like,
Yeah,
that's not going to be.
and then the 20s. Yeah, so it's going to be if you're looking to
20s.
make a living in the sport, you're still gonna have to go. You're either gonna have to qualify for the league, which is actually I think pretty. You can do all right if you clean up, or you got to go World Tour and get your stipend and support,
Which is, yeah, yeah, you better get your
which
USA
is
stipend.
which is hard.
Even World Tour, you better be top 15 in the world.
Yeah, because if you're not performing, you're gonna be in the red quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but a
yeah.
significant stop, I think, we were talking about before. So Belmar hosted every year from 91 through 2008, and then they did it in 2010, and the Cuervos went back in 2012. Pretty legendary stop on the Beach Pro Tour, and you're pumping your fists.
I played in that.
Which one?
Belmar 2012.
Cuervo. Was that your, wait, was that with Riley or Raffy?
Jeff Carlson.
Oh, that's right. You
Um,
beat Hayden and Evie.
Hiding in Heavy, the one seed. We sneak in as the dead last, beat them. And honestly, if that never happened, Hayden might not have discovered me.
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
We ended up, yeah, I think we ended up getting like a seventh or whatever, which was great at the time. Adrian Karambula I lost to him. He eliminated me, him
Who
and
did-
Gostkowski,
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
back when Adrian was running the East Coast.
Florida
Yeah,
man.
Florida man.
Yeah, pretty
Head
cool.
coach. Huh?
Pretty cool that Belmar's back.
Yeah, it was a cool stop, and I remember the name being kind of legendary. So I'm glad it's going back there. I hope they still have the fan base. The times were different back then. We're definitely in a different generation, but we'll see. I hope the East Coast crowd shows up.
Yeah, hoping so too. Hoping people are hungry for it. Because, hey, East Coasters, y'all been clamoring for events. So when they give you one, you got to show up.
Yes.
You got to capitalize on that opportunity.
Yeah. I think as we're talking about the schedule and all that, and next year, like what's going to happen, what's the season going to look like? I'm so intrigued on the partnerships
Me
because
too.
I'm seeing a few across the board here that could easily, I could see the wheels turning upstairs and people being like, should I make the change? If I am going to make the change, I got to do it now. And I know there's fans out there. I saw fan questions about partnership changes, and I think it's gonna be an interesting year in that sense. Bet the Beach should do like betting on partnership changes.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, and Bet the Beach listens. Man, you should put those out there, buddy. That'd be fun. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
way so with AVP League qualifying, if you won the AVP League regular season, you're in. If you won the AVP League championships, you're in. But if you switch your partner, you forfeit that spot and you got to go through that qualifying process in Manhattan in the spring. So only two
Mhm.
spots. I don't know what they're doing with the wild cards, if they're doing any, if they're saying no wild cards, everybody's got to earn it. Um, but we'll see. We'll see.
Fake
So
retirement if you need a wild card. Don't do what I did.
you should do. You blew it too early. You should have just
Dang
done
it.
a fake retirement. Give me a spot.
I could have just done a real retirement. I could have played the league.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. You seem all right though. You seem good in retirement.
Yeah, I feel like I ripped the Band-Aid and I did I got it over with. The inevitable. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
why would
appreciate I appreciate the cut and dry retirement. You just did
right.
it.
Hey,
Uh,
listen, like I say, for the right price,
oh yeah.
I'm always available.
Yeah. Like I'm in that not that I had a career enough as a player to like retire, but I always try to play my once like celeb tournament a year. So I'm playing Pompano, the futures with Partain in a couple weeks.
I love that. I love that for you. For him, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But
What? Because
why not?
I after Hermosa, I told Andy, I was like, dude, let's do one a year. Just get the boys together and have some fun. But he's on his honeymoon with Diana. He went to Bali, and so
Oh,
like, oh, that means that Miles is available. So I called up Miles because we're still close buds. Like he lived with us for a little bit, and I was like, hey man, you want to come hang out for like a week with the fam?
yeah.
We'll play some volleyball down there. He's like, yeah, I'd love to.
Oh,
And so,
sick.
yeah, so we had our first training yesterday here in Adelaide. Set me some
Mm,
balls.
there we go. There we go.
First time I've jumped and hit a ball in a men's net since I was out in Hermosa in July.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
People keep asking me about. I even get texts and stuff about like, hey, you want to play? Like, there's this little fun event, or if you're getting the bug, like, come out and play. I'm like, guys, no, don't have the bug.
yeah, no,
I've
thank
played
you.
enough.
Yeah. Should we get into some fan cues?
Yeah,
All right, you got him, buddy.
I'll check them out.
Yeah,
See what we got here. Pro volleyball news, always on top of it for us.
always.
Asking me, saying that the episode with Kyle and Frito reminds me of Sports Center. Any more of those planned? I love to hear it. If you guys like them, we'll keep doing them. It was fun. I thought it was really fun bantering back and forth with those two. They have a great rapport nowadays, and them being on World Tour and all us kind of having these shared but different perspectives is pretty fun. And having someone in the studio because Travis left us is necessary. So yeah, I would love to have those guys back on. And since you guys are asking for it, we know
Yeah.
I appreciate the feedback. So I know that you guys like it.
And dude, since I've been gone, I've enjoyed being a listener of my own podcast. Because like you did the
Right.
episodes with like Canyon, with Brian Lewis, with Charlie Brand, with Frito and Kyle, and I was like, oh man, I wonder. These seem like fun. Like, and I'm like, I'm like, waiting for the podcast to drop. I'm like, let's go. I'm listening to my own. It's been great. I've really enjoyed them.
Yeah, as opposed to before you had to do the podcast and then listen to it again
Yeah,
and just to upload it. Yeah. Now you get to listen to it fresh
yeah, it's been fun.
for your write-ups. Um, Pro volleyball news, we'll give you another question. This is travel that you hit this one. Do stat sheets exist for pro volleyball, like paper ones?
I know they used to, and refs need them. No, refs need like the standard like point server, point that kind of thing. I don't think that anybody does paper sheets anymore. On the World Tour, everybody's got little tablets, and you just hit, it goes straight into the system. And then the stat system that I love using is Beach Data. They're awesome. It's this Czech company, and they do everything by hand. So all the stats that we use on the broadcast is from Beach Data, and then there's Volley Station, which keeps them live. And so when we're doing referencing live stats, we're using Volley Station, which is all online. And then there's Beach Data, which will go through by hand and chart every single serve, swing, dig, the location, the type of swing, whether it's a shot or a swing, or even they have a separate category for oh my gosh, soft spike. They call it soft, like a chop is called oh, smash soft. They call smash hard, smash soft, and then a shot.
Oh,
And they have
okay.
different categories. Yeah. And so it's really good. Like when we're, because the way we prep for matches, it's basically like we're scouting against both teams as if we were coaching. Like we want to get
Right.
tendencies for everyone and stats
Yeah.
and trends. And so it's been like the most useful system. But as far as paper, I think only refs use those.
Yeah, I mean, especially for you. I mean, clearly for the athletes, and I think the stats are good enough for the athletes and scouting purposes. I think we could do a better job of packaging it for fans, first of all, and then like what's really important also is getting the right stats and easy to digest stats for you guys too, because it's such a important part of the storytelling process.
Yeah.
And just interesting one. There's ones that like you listen to NFL or NBA or ESPN, they just come up with the most random stats that are really interesting, but like they're like we're like, how did you think of that? You know,
Right.
like how did you come up with that? They have obviously a giant team of statisticians just finding stuff like that, but I think we could do a better job as a sport. But it's
Yeah.
come a long way.
Yeah, 100%. Because like even on the Volleyball World website, the stats that they have picked, it's getting better, but they'll do like scoring leaders, which I think is the dumbest stat because it's like, all right, here are the guys who get served every ball.
Yes.
Instead, why don't we do a side out percentage? Because that's a way better reflection of who's actually
Yes.
playing well. instead
Yeah.
of like, all right, well, this guy got served 90% of the balls. He's obviously going to be leading and scoring. Why don't we look at the people who are actually siding out pretty efficiently?
You know what, in my mind, is considered scoring is getting a block, getting an ace, because that's your team serving.
Yeah,
Uh, if you dig a ball and transition it, you created that. Siding out, yeah, you got to go by percentages.
yeah. Craziest stat I've ever seen came in last night's quarterfinal. Kristen and Taryn played Julia and Lexi. I've never seen this before.
I did
Zero,
see it.
zero errors. Not a single error hit by Kristen and Taryn. No service errors, no hitting errors. It was crazy. Like, how do you beat a team that has zero freaking errors, dude?
I mean, that says a lot about their game, right? Like, obviously, that
Yeah.
was a anomaly that they could pull that off, but like, I don't know. How aggressive are they being? Like their baseline controlled volleyball is still high level. And I mean, that's the recipe for greatness, right? Is when your
Yeah.
baseline is just like it's like when you watch Kyrie Irving come down the lane and he's doing the craziest things, but you watch him live, and I've watched him live, and it's like it looks like he's not going that fast, but he is. He's moving, he's just so under control. And I feel like that's kind of what they're doing out there. They're
Yeah.
not trying too hard. They're not trying to paint the lines. They're not trying to do too much. Just put up the right shot at the right time. If they dig it, they dig it. But their baseline is just so good that it works.
Yeah, they're just machines. And they're just never zero stress. And as far as like how risky are they being? Service pressure wise, zero. I mean, they just pop it in. They don't care. Like Beach Data has a stat for in-system
Gosh,
passing. Opposing teams are in system 86% of the time against them, but they're siding out less than 50. Like they're the only team I've ever seen that's just like, here's a muffin for you. We don't need to serve tough.
I think that's I think that's underrated actually, to be honest. I think some of the best defenders, and Hayden did this with me early on, would recognize scenarios where, yes, we have to go for the serve. Like, hey, service pressure. They're in system. It's too easy for him right now. But then also, hey, bro, lollipop. He would come up to, hey, I'm gonna give this one to them. And then we'd come up with this is what we're gonna do. And me as a blocker made me more aggressive, and it felt like I was in more control because I could almost dictate what they were doing a little bit more. And this, nowadays, if you do that to a Sweden, like I'm not dictating what they're doing with the easy serve. They're gonna run something out of it. So I think the game's changing a little bit in that way. But um, girls' side maybe a little less than the guys in terms of how much court they're able to spread and how many different plays, which I know that's changed as well. But yeah, I think the great ones know when they have a team and they're better defensively than the other team is offensively, and they're just like, why would we risk making an error when we can make you just come right into our trap?
Yeah, zero risk. And Kristen, so we're into the semis now. She has 5 errors in the entire tournament. 6 matches, 5 errors.
She didn't get blocked.
No. Yeah, well, blocks aren't counted as errors on the volleyball world set, and I
If you
wouldn't,
get blocked, it's not an error
no,
anymore.
no, not,
Oh,
it's
okay,
not
got
counted
it.
as one anyway. She counts them because I texted him after that win. I was like, y'all just had 0 errors. And she was like, no, no, I got blocked 3 times. And I was like, hey, don't disrespect
Oh, got it,
blockers.
got it.
All right, we work hard for these blocks. It's not an error. It's a good play by the
Yeah, I
block.
like that. I like that.
Yeah. What do we got
All right.
next?
Renee Crolius. Chicago AVP was disappointing this year. Did the players agree? You were
Uh,
there, right?
no, it wasn't there, but it was sold out. And the secondary market for those tickets was $400. Like it was pretty high demand. That's the first person I've ever heard say that it was disappointing. I think maybe
Maybe
it was
side
just
courts?
maybe it was one court.
Or a smaller, maybe a smaller than normal
The
because it's
only
usually, I don't
the
know.
only thing that I think people were disappointed about was it just wasn't that many matches. Because usually they have a double limb standard tournament that gets you a lot of matches. But they just had the final six teams in the league playing a single limb, and so that would have been not, I mean, maybe eight total matches or something like that. So
Yeah.
I think people might have been disappointed because it just wasn't that long of an event. But as far as like
Right.
the vibes and the atmosphere, Chicago showed out.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know, but it's been good most years that I've been there. Um, how did Renee Crolius again? How did April handle USA versus USA? April Ross being one of the coaches for USA now.
Yeah, so April's in this like kind of ambiguous role where she is at like the top of the umbrella, helping to coach all USA teams on the men's and the women's side. Kind of what Tyler Hildebrand was. And so she's still trying to figure out like the specifics of that role, where how much do I impede on someone else's team and system versus just like give them, hey, here's what I think. But when Chase and Miles played Cam and James, she sat out and she said, I won't coach. And same thing when Kristen and Taryn played Julia and Lexi, she sat out and just watched. And so when it's USA on USA, she is just an observer. She doesn't go one way or the other.
Yeah, like that. Breakwall West. I know them.
That's your boy.
What do you eat for breakfast? Good
That's
question.
me or you.
You know what I eat for breakfast. I'm gonna go with eggs and oats and coffee. Trav?
Yeah, I am. It depends on the day. Me and Austin love to share a good yogurt bowl with peanut butter and cacao nibs in there. And so the cacao nibs we get from Publix come in a purple bag. And so Austin can't say nibs for whatever reason, so he calls them dibs. So he calls them purple dibs. So
Purple
we go,
dibs?
yeah, we go either a yogurt bowl with peanut butter and some purple dibs, or I'll go four eggs, bacon, and a peanut butter banana.
Ooh, bacon.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a coffee the size of my head.
Okay, next question. DNA dietitian. What's happening? Try retired life updates. How's the body feeling? And also, she's curious about the AVP schedule, which we already covered. My body is feeling okay. Definitely didn't just heal right away. Still wake up sore. Been doing a lot of working out in the garage, more PT. My PT is my workouts, surfing here and there. I did a workout, like it was a networking event the other day. So it was a workout slash networking event. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it was like this almost, I don't even know what it was called. High rocks is what it's called, I think. But we had to run around the block in between sets, and I have not run on concrete in a long time. My calves were so sore after. Um, and then my foot is like legit hurt now, like a week later, and I'm pretty sure it's from that. Anyway, body's feeling okay, but I wake up, my neck still hurts a lot of days. My hip definitely hasn't healed yet, the torn labrum. So those are the moments where I wake up and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not going out there to practice today. Um, so it's a work in progress. Nothing amazing, but better than when I was playing. Lumos 42. If you had to play with someone from the 80s slash 90s, who would it be?
It's a good question. We've never had that one. Sometimes with like evergreen questions like that, it's we get a lot of the same. That's a good one.
Okay.
Um, 80s and 90s. I'm torn between two. One would be, I
Let's
think it
do a
would be
male and a female.
okay. I'm kind of my male is tied, but I'm probably gonna go with Jose.
That came into my mind.
I think playing with Jose when he was peak Jose would
Yeah.
be so freaking fun.
Yeah.
And then the other would have been Kent, just because you talk about a winner.
You're gonna win.
My guy Kent is gonna bring us to the motherland. Either him or Jose, but because we can't do ties here, I'll probably take Jose because I think it just would have been really fun.
Yeah.
Playing with Kent, I don't think would be all that fun, but winning
Right,
would
right,
be
right.
fun.
Gosh, I'm lost on the male side.
Yeah. And then
Uh,
female 80s and 90s. Give me Nina Matthews.
ooh,
Yeah. I want Nina. And I'm biased because she's a pretty good family friend. Coaching D and Delaney like worships Nina, and we've gotten to spend some time with her. But also, I think Nina's one of the most underrated players ever. She won like six Manhattans. Like she was a beast, dude.
that's legit. That's very legit. Yeah, that's a tough one for me. My initial thought was like a Holly McPeak or something, like
Yeah.
trying to win lots of volleyball and like high competitor, high IQ. But then Gabby Reese popped into my head. I was like,
Oh,
she's our girl. And she carried just a different she really like appeals to us because we're kind of been playing, but also like looking at the business side of things, looking at things from a broader perspective, and like to see how the life she's created and how much she's transitioned, and it wasn't like transcended just volleyball, um, with all the business things and media things she's done. I think she'd be a fun partner, having
that's
dinners and learning from her.
it's a good
Um,
answer.
those two, opposite ends of the spectrum, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jose popped into my head as a male, my guy. I miss that guy. Hope he's killing it over in South Carolina.
Yeah, I've gotten to see him a lot. We've played a lot of the same events, so I've gotten to see
Uh,
Jose. I think he's figuring out there's a lot of administrative stuff with being a head coach. And I don't know if
yeah,
that's Jose's strength, but he's figuring it out.
yeah. So who's my male then? Um,
I mean, I got one in my head for you. I'm curious if you get there.
hey, oh,
We had a long drive back from God,
Mike Dodd.
yeah. I feel like you
I
and
like
Dodd
I like
would
that.
be just the vibiest good team.
Yeah, he's 100% my vibe. I'm gonna go with Mike Dodd. We'd surf on the side, we'd play, but I think he would have helped me like leave it on the court. I think we have that same chillness, but then there's also this like crazy competitor in there, and we would have maybe balanced each other well in that way.
Yeah,
I don't
I think
know.
you and Dodd would be good.
Because if you know him nowadays, you almost think he's not that competitive at all. Like this guy probably didn't care at all, and he was just like, whatever. Like let's just have a good time. But that was not the case.
Still, one of my favorite stories we've ever had on in 8+ years of this podcast comes from when we had Patty on. And so they've been running MB Sand for I think 10 years now.
Yeah.
And so Patty does all the coaching and they delegate their coaching out. So they hire pretty good players to coach. But Mike usually just gets there and sets up the nets and doesn't coach. And these young kids don't know who
Oh
he is.
yeah.
And so one day some of the coaches can't make it. And so Mike has to step in and coach. And one of the moms calls up Patty and she says, yeah, so my daughter reported back and said that the janitor had to step in and coach.
The janitor. Oh God. They're like,
My God, the
excuse me,
janitor.
Patty, we want our money back. The net guy, we don't want the equipment guy coaching us. Like, we're not paying for that.
Oh man. That I was laughing so hard with that story. And that made that's in Playbook of Champions too. I still that's one of my favorite little anecdotes in almost a decade of this podcast is Mike Dodd, the equipment guy.
That's like Adrian Carambola, the physio, when we were all signing autographs and stuff. They walked right after a tournament. We're getting mobbed by fans signing autographs, and then and no one goes to Adrian because they thought he was the physio.
Which, speaking of physio, hilarious story. So, Kylie DeBerg engaged to Noslin Diaz from Cuba. And so she wanted to come out to World Champs because they don't get to see each other very often. And so she got into the event as Cuba's physio.
Oh, no way.
Dude,
By the way,
her
did he
credentials
just,
incredible.
I heard he destroyed Kame's nose.
So, Kamer just cannot get out of the way. Oh,
Dude,
so in
I'm thinking Sean Cook in my head all over again. I'm
so he
like,
got
oh,
Sean Cook sent him into next year back in Huntington. And then in Stad, they're warming up. They're doing a training with Sharif and Ahmed. They run a four. Sharif smokes one down the line. Boof. And came,
It's
cuts his nose. Black guy. Warm up for world champs playing with Ben O'Day and Brad Fuller. Run a four again.
it's
Came
all force.
running into the line. Ben O'Day, boom, boom, right in the face. And so came at a black eye to start world champs. And then he gets bombed by Cuba. I'm like, buddy,
Oh,
you got to pick your spots.
bro, on the four too. Like maybe like run with like here, hands high. It's always on that cross
Oh
move where
my gosh,
he's like in that cross like
dude.
oh. Ooh.
And then
Oh,
I was like, man,
gamer.
you talk about the guys you don't want to get hit in the face by. Those four are pretty high up there. Sean, probably heaviest arm,
Heavy.
aside from Taylor Sander,
Yeah.
in the U.S. And then you got Sharif, watch out, Ben O'Day, and
O'Day's got a
Cuba.
cannon. Yeah.
Like Adrian Heydrich is probably the only one that we haven't mentioned that's like that heavy. Like, no more dives, Kimmer.
Yeah. Or just hands up a little bit.
Oh man.
All right, next one. Stephen Rob Smith. What's your idea to improve the AVP and why hasn't the AVP implemented it? We've gone over that a little too much times. At this point, it's we're just throwing out ideas and brainstorming a little too much. But we did have one idea for the AVP.
Did
We
have an
threw it out
idea.
last year.
Yeah, little college game day style atmosphere. Bring the pod out to the league stops and the heritage stops, and just have an on-site live preview, on-site live recap. Because I've tinkered around with it. That's actually what got me onto the world tour doing this stuff with Volleyball World was in Mexico when you and Kamer played. Me and Frito we got Frito a press pass with the pod, and that's exactly what we did. We were like, yeah, let's
Mhm.
just shoot some previews and random stuff. And Finn Taylor, the former CEO, he called me like a week later. He's like, can you do that for us? And so that's what got me and Frito out on the world tours that we did that. And when I've been doing these nightly recaps here in Adelaide, like the amount of people who have come up to me and Kyle and are like, dude, thanks for the nightly recaps. I'm like, I can't believe y'all are watching them because they're going up at like 1 a.m. here.
Yeah,
And so that's what we're trying to bring a little college game day style preview, and it's just anything that makes the sport easier to follow and easier to
yeah.
keep track of who's doing what are the stakes, what are the standings, what does this mean? That's what we want to bring.
Yeah, and then I think it's an extension. The post game shows equally, if not more exciting for me because it's an extension of the podcast, but on site live. We're getting the athlete, like we can bring an athlete or two on right after while they're feeling it. Doesn't, and we can sit them down, not have them be in that interviewee mindset of like, oh yeah, we just worked hard and teamwork together and bump set spike. We can
One
sit down and they can
one move
relax
at a
and be
time.
like, hey, what's going on? Like, how we feeling? How we
Yeah,
feeling? Like, what was that moment right there that we saw? Like, we're all wondering. Tell us.
yeah.
I think it'd be fun, but other than that, yeah, no, we don't we don't want to throw too many ideas out there.
Bikini contest, make it a party.
Yeah, bring back the wet t-shirt contest. Everyone's lame nowadays. Crystal Eva 7 is asking, loving the international guest podcast sessions. Can we have Anders and Christian back on? Absolutely. Would love to have them back on. Tell them to come back on. Or we can message them.
Yeah, I've asked them a few times at every stop, and they're like, "Yeah, if we have time, don't have time," because
They're
they're
big
really
time
good.
in you?
No, so
I'll
they have
hit them up.
they have like their own content team. Like they bring Richie Harrington. He's just been like full-time
Oh,
staff.
really?
They bring him everywhere.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so they're doing their own. They're like their own content team. They do a really good
Yeah, yeah,
job
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And they're also like they understand their role in the sport. And so, like, there are no people who do more promotional stuff for every organizer than those two. Like Anders,
Hmm.
after he lost in the quarterfinal or in the ninth place rounds to Germany, was in mingling with the fans 20 minutes later, signing
Hmm.
autographs, taking pictures. Like he understands his role. So like they're giving a lot of their time already. And whenever I'm on the road, I'm pretty mindful of like especially elites where it's like you have 2 matches a day, you want to do your film, your recovery. Like I don't want to steal their time. Here I've been a little bit more liberal with it because a lot of people had 1, if not 2 days off. So I'm like, on your day off, let's chat. And we've gotten a
Yeah,
couple. We've got Schubert, got Marco Kradiger coming on. Might be able to steal one more, and then we've had the nightly pods. But yeah, we'd love to have Anders and Christian back.
for sure. Anytime. We're ready for him. Same person. What happened to the 2023 Miles and Andy? I miss them.
We all do. We all do, Crystal. I miss 2023 Miles and Andy. I think, well, actually, you might be able to speak better on this than I can from your perspective. Like, you get out on the world tour at first, and I feel like it's all like, oh my God, we're in Brazil, we're in Germany. Oh, it's all fun and new. And you kind of have like no pressure, no expectations. Because, like, you won, like, what, your third or fourth event with
Yeah,
John,
for
something
sure.
crazy like that. And you're like, oh shit, this is life.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I mean it's certainly different in the beginning. Both of them were new to the tour. Everything's exciting. The partnership's exciting. As you play year over year with individuals, you you guys get bored of each other. Like even if it's your good friend or the partnership's great. So you have to find ways to stay stimulated and like really pushing. And I think you have to like keep raising the bar for yourself and really like takes more effort to lock in year after year. Um, you have to push your teammates. It becomes more draining. It's just more effort, I think. And um, the love for the game, like it's different for everyone. That passion and drive and all that. And I don't know, it just changes. And they don't look, they've never looked this way. So it's not to say that they should, but they don't look that excited to be out there and be playing as much as it was in the beginning. But it's also not that fair because neither of them are that guy, bubbly and smiling and bopping around. But I've seen some practices and like I don't know. I think their motivation maybe can go in and out, and every partnership has that's the case for everyone. It's just a matter of how you deal with it. And but I think they have been up and down in terms of like the peak level that they've shown. Yeah, we don't get that consistently, and I think that's just if it were me in that situation, the way I'd look at it would be just yeah, it's motivation and locking in consistently, like making sure that you're locked in no matter what. If you're gonna go on this trip, like you're all in and you're gonna put your best product out there, which is easier said than done. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of
Maybe
done
that's me.
a statistical deep dive on them. And what's crazy is that their results have obviously been worse than 2023. Their every single metric is better than 2023.
Hmm.
And I remember John, I talked to John Mayer about his LMU team a couple years ago, and he's like, this is the best team I've ever had. But like, if the rest of the NCAA is improving by 8% and you're improving by 7%, then you're actually falling behind. And
Right.
even though Andy and Miles metrically are better than they were in 2023, if everybody else is at that 8% jump and they're only at 6, then they're actually falling behind.
They
And
also had like points of those seasons where it was like if they didn't get over that hump, then they wouldn't have, like they had like crazy comeback just to get their first medal on the world tour, which like screwed over the guys they were competing with for Paris. For Paris, was that Paris? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And then they had one or two or three moments like that where like if those moments didn't flip for them, the highs wouldn't have happened. And so I don't know. It is what it is. There's another CFA 83 said is the Benesh Partain uh honeymoon over. So I
yeah,
don't
I mean,
they'll have to
honeymoon,
answer that one.
yeah, honeymoon. Yeah, I mean, probably over. They had a great honeymoon.
Honeymoon's over for
Yeah,
sure.
going bronze, gold, silver in Ostrava, Stade, Montreal, respectively. Pretty damn good. That's your
That's
honeymoon
pretty
right
good.
there. I mean, that
Yeah. Also, Andy's headed to
Bali.
Bali.
He's having a Bali moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean it's hard. Like there are a lot of really freaking good teams on the World Tour. Like you look at Argentina beats Ehlers-Vickler. Ehlers-Vickler beats Norway. They're in the semifinals. Like there's so many good teams. It's just so easy to lose and sustain success. Like I mean, you look at everyone's asking like, what's wrong with Sweden? Sweden's only won one event this year. Norway's won three. It's their lowest count since
What are they
2018.
saying now? Sweden looks
Right.
pretty good in this
Yeah.
World
And then
Champ
everyone,
semis.
yeah, right. Like everyone in pool play, Sweden loses two, like they did in Paris. And everyone's like, man, Sweden, they just don't look like themselves. I'm like, actually, they're siding out 6% better in pool play than they did on the year. They just played teams who careered against them. And it's like, sometimes that happens. That's
Yeah.
kind of yeah. I mean, Andy Miles, like, they don't look like they used to, but the World Tour is really freaking good.
Yeah. That's fair. Next question, Scott Farina. I've been tuned out of beach volleyball. What would be something to entice me to tune back in?
I mean, you look at, I don't think there's ever been a more exciting time to watch, particularly men's beach volleyball. Just what people are doing is outrageous. Like you watching, I think last night's quarterfinal against Evandro and Arthur, Sweden, was a pretty good example. So Evandro's like pumping in his 300-mile-an-hour fastballs. Moonball pass, which typically 10 years ago, you're going to get like a chowder out of system bump set. And instead of that, Hellvig's going up for a jump set and flinging a shoot back to Oman, who just bounces it. And it's like,
A bump. Didn't he jump
yeah,
bump?
yeah.
I saw one of those
Yeah,
highlights.
Oman did a jump bump back set. Like you look at stuff like that, that should entice any viewer. Like we're talking, I mean, it's like everyone's doing like Blake Griffin stuff. And then
Right, right, right. Yeah.
where it's like you never know what's going to happen. And then you got guys like Noslin Diaz, who's like beach volleyball's Wemby. You get a 6'11" defender who's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
ridiculously coordinated. Like the athletes are better than they've ever been on the
Yeah.
beach, men and women. But the men's game is particularly just absurd in what people are able to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's high level ball for sure. Um, AW Hilliard. Do the players only get paid if they break pool at World Champs?
No, everyone gets paid. If you barbecue out a pool play, you split 3,400. If you get a 17th, you split 7. If you take ninth, you split 11K. Fifth, you split 18. I think if you win, you split 150, I think.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Decent money for World
Yeah.
Champs. The other part of the question was about players paying for food and flights and hotels and coaches, and does USA Volleyball help? Yes, USA Volleyball helps. Definitely all the teams at World Championships, they're giving them stipends, which will cover most of the expenses, I'd say. Coaches and hotels covered by the tournament. Coaches is if you're ranked high enough, covered by USA Volleyball. They also bring like April Ross, and the team really comes together for World Champs, and the whole USA staff will help out in a big way. They have statisticians sending scouting reports and film and all this stuff. So yeah, they're well taken care of at World Champs, especially. I'd say the only time you're more well taken care of is at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Um, and then let's go to another one. Last one, actually. Thoughts on AVP returning to Belmar? Oh, we already answered that.
Covered it. Love
Yeah, let's. I'll give one more since that one was already covered.
it. Yeah.
Let's see. What are Mel and Brandie lacking to get past the quarters this season?
Oh, man. I mean, you talk about in Kristen and Taryn's first year, I called them the Queens of Fifth because they just got fifth over and over and over again. And they have passed the tiara to Mel and Brandie, who, man, let me get their numbers real quick on how many fifths they've gotten this year. And a pretty timely question, they just got fifth again. So They got fifth 6 times in 8 events this year.
Mm.
The only time they got to the quarters and made it out, they won gold in Montreal. So they got Brasilia fifth, Ostrava fifth, Stade fifth, Montreal gold, João Pessoa fifth, Rio fifth, Adelaide World Champs. They take another fifth. Um, and it's one of those things where it's hard to say, but Mel and Brandie, they won pool almost every single time. And then they would play that weird thing that Volleyball World's doing, where if you lose in the round of 12, but your point differential was good, you actually went to the quarterfinals. So you thought you got knocked out, and I've been calling it the resurrection rounds. You got brought back to life. Mel and
Right.
Brandie have lost to that team, I think, 4 times.
Mm.
And so you're playing a team who was on total house money, like they thought they were knocked out, and it said like, "Oh, we lost and actually advanced in the tournament," which is so
Right.
stupid. But they
I
just
think
kept.
you add on top of that there, just like I think over the last since Paris, they've had a bit more of a target on their backs as well. More expectation from themselves that they're psychologically dealing with, and I think they absolutely can handle it. But add on the target on their backs, and your medal round finishes start turning into fists. It's such a fine line. But I've been there when I've gotten on World Tour for me. I had a point where I was getting stuck at ninths a lot, and it was frustrating. But I think it kind of came down to like there was too much of like a little bit of a okay, top 10. I got top 10 now, and now we're playing with house money a little bit. And I don't think that's the case for them. They've been winning at the highest level for a long time, but that's how it was for me. It was like
Yeah,
I got into the top 10. I was like, okay, good, top 10. Now we start, I kind of let my guard down a little bit. I don't think that's the case with them, though. I think they have target on their back. They've been playing great ball for a long time, and they're just battling the challenges that come along with the sport getting better and better as they're getting deeper and deeper into their careers and with the as big of a target as they've ever had.
yeah. I think there's a lot of that to it because I think like everyone, Sweden gets everyone's best efforts, and so even their numbers wise, they're having the best year ever. They're also losing like they never have before. Mel and Brandy get everyone's best efforts. Their winning percentage wise, best year of their career, lowest medal count of their partnership. And so it's weird when you have like your highest winning percentage and you're not winning medals. And same for Cindy Tillman and Svenja Muller. I've had like a really strange year. Germany's top team.
Yeah.
They haven't medaled like they used to. Best winning percentage of their career. They're just losing at the wrong time.
That's a tough battle psychologically because you really do want to like give yourself credit and you want to be happy about it. But like, can you? Can you be
Right.
like you talk to a sports psych or like, like really like lay it out there for yourself. You know you should be like, this is what we wanted. I'm doing all the things in my control, but still, it's still mind effing you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's weird. Like you look at it and you're like, damn, because everyone always talks about like the process. You win enough matches, eventually you're going to win the right one, and it just only happened one time.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the case, but it happens over years.
Yeah.
You know, you have a whole season or two where you're just stuck in that place, and then eventually it cracks.
Yeah. So I can't pretend to have an answer for what they need to do to get over that quarterfinal hump, but now they'll have a long off season sitting on another fifth to think about it.
Yeah, they're pretty locked in though. I see them making the LA run
Yeah.
at full force.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
All
Good
right, well
catching
that's
up,
it.
man.
Questions. What's that?
Good catching up.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Good to go through the time travel multiverse. Saturday
Yeah,
almost afternoon for me, Friday afternoon for you.
we've avoided Zoom podcasts for a while, but I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I think we'll start doing these a little more regularly.
Yeah, we'll see how the fans like it. If you guys like it or don't like it, then let us know. But as long as the audio turns out well, I don't see why not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, hey, we messed up the audio enough in person.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all
This is
right
probably
from.
safer actually.
Yeah. All right, homie. Well, I got matches in 2 hours, so I'm gonna go.
All right.
All right, brother.
Enjoy
Set up
yourself a flat white, mate.
flat white. Shoots.
Shoots.
Shoots.